Hey guys, Ultramaximus here with another Transformers review. This time we're going to take a look at a Fall of Cybertron figure. It is a Voyager class Blaster. And I picked this guy up yesterday. I was actually surprised to see him. I just happened to look and see what figures were available at a local Walmart, and this was sitting on the shelf. And I was like, whoa, hey, I didn't expect this to actually come out for a few months. So very cool to see this guy. He is essentially a remold of and repaint of Soundwave, the Fall of Cybertron Soundwave, which I also picked up yesterday, since I went ahead and picked Blaster up. But he's got some significant differences. Here is Soundwave and Blaster next to each other. Body is pretty much the same, except for their tape deck area, I guess you could say. Obviously, this is Blaster styled, and this one is Soundwave styled. Also, key differences, I think, are in, obviously, the head sculpt. You're going to have a Soundwave head sculpt, and you've got a Blaster head sculpt here. And the other key difference is Soundwave's got his kind of missile-launching, shoulder-mounted cannon thing from G1, and Blaster is obviously rocking his little G1-styled gun there. So, yeah, kind of interesting, kind of cool. Really digging this packaging. Again, this is the typical packaging, same packaging that Grimlock was in. We have some really awesome artwork of Blaster here, and it's kind of funny. Look at the tape deck area on him there and compare it to his actual chest piece. It's a mirror image. I thought that was kind of interesting. And we've got Steeljaw down there in the corner. The artwork, again, I like how the artwork wraps around the box, and we have all of his other cassettes. We've got Ram, Horn, Eject, Rewind, and then Sunder. I don't remember Sunder. Do you guys remember Sunder? I sure don't. We've got a little Autobot logo down there. We've got the cool splash. I love the artwork with the splash on it. It's very, very cool. Of course, he's got the Autobot logo there, Series 01, figure number 4. And then underneath, we have all of the different cassettes that are sold separately. None of the cassettes are out, though. Only Soundwave cassettes are out, or data discs, I suppose they are called. Here's the back of the package. Again, his tape deck, it's reversed from what it actually is. It's just kind of weird to me. I don't know why they did that. Here is his bio, if you want to read that. You may pause and do so. Here are his stats. If you want to look at those, you can pause and do so. Now, looking at his stats, I don't really care for them. They're a little off. I think he's a little too strong. His intelligence is about average. Okay, his speed is a 3. It doesn't make any sense, considering Soundwave's the same vehicle, and his speed is like a 6. Why is Soundwave so much faster? It doesn't make any sense. Now, if he was a Boombox, yes, I could see his speed being horrible, but that's just not the case. His endurance is a 9. I think that's a little high. Rank is a 7. That's about right. Courage is an 8. Sure. Fire Blast, or Courage is a 9. Fire Blast is an 8. I think that's a little high for Blaster. And his skill is a 7, and that's, I think, maybe a little bit too low. So I don't think his stats are quite right. But oh well, is what it is. And then we've got the, hey, look, the disc pops out and it shoots this way kind of thing. So, yeah, pretty cool. From the onset, I really do like this figure. I like this version of him. I think it's really cool. And this is actually the first Blaster I've ever owned. I've never owned a Blaster figure. So, that's pretty cool unto itself. So, yeah, let's get him out of the package and take a look at his robot mode. Alright, so here we have Blaster out of his package, and I gotta say, I really do like this robot. This is very, very cool. This is a good Voyager class figure. Very nice sculpt. I've been very impressed with it so far. He's got a great G1 head sculpt going on here, and it's kind of a combination between the G1 head sculpt and there's some nods to the G1 comic book as well, as far as the cartoon, because his helmet is very much like the original G1 cartoon character, as is his face sculpt, but the head sculpt has kind of got the goggles thing he had going on in the comic book, because in the cartoon it was just a silver kind of visor piece that went over the top, and in the comics, he kind of had these yellow goggle-like things going on. And I really wish that that was actually a goggle piece with some translucent yellow plastic that could slip down over his eyes. I think that would be very cool. And talk about his eyes, he does have light piping, and they do a very good job with it. His eyes do a really nice job lighting up, which is very, very cool. He's a very stable robot. He's got these nice clickety, ratchety noises, which is very cool. I always dig that in a Transformer. I do like how in his, we'll see this more in the vehicle mode, the wheels have Autobot logos in them. I think that is very cool. I love the tape deck area here, very reminiscent of the original character. It's a shame that the Autobot logo is white and not red. I think that would be a lot cooler if it was red. I love the coloring, very G1 style coloring. Even like the light blue here, I think that just looks really nice. He's just very well detailed, very cool. Now, looking at his little counterpart, Steeljaw. This is the figure that came with him, his tape in the G1 cartoon. And they're data discs in this, since it's the Fall of Cybertron. And he's got lots of detail too. I mean, he's very, very detailed. His face sculpt is very cool looking. He's got the blue eyes. He's pretty much the little yellow lion that he was in the show. Reminiscent of the little wings down here. And he's kind of odd to transform. These things are a little strange. You fold these up, spin around, and then essentially he's going to kind of fold up, and you're going to push this in. They don't really, there it goes, they don't really like to come together very well. So there it is. Get it to stick here. Here's the data disk. And it's got the little Autobot logo. It's kind of got this little pattern going on. And there's a button underneath. And when you press the button, he pops out. Except for the fact that looks like he's taking a crap. When he initially pops out, you have to undo the legs. They do not unfold themselves. Everything else does. And then you got to flip that piece back. So very, very odd. He does fit in Blaster, and this is kind of a cool little deal. I did like this. They can you can house multiple discs in Blaster and Soundwave. If I can get this thing back together again. Get these folded in, getting back in disc mode. Okay, so there he is in disc mode. So, to put him in, you need to eject, open up his little piece. That pops out, and then you've got this back piece that can extend out, and you can put in a bunch of different discs. The only issue is he's got that kind of pops out, which is unfortunate, but at least you can get multiple cassettes or multiple data discs in there. And you just essentially put the guy in there, like so, and then you just kind of push them in, put it in as far as you want, sort of deal. We'll just put it right there since we've only got the one, and you can close up his little hatch, like that. So when he goes to eject, you can push that, and then you push this piece and to pop the disc out, and it transforms as it pops out, which is actually pretty darn cool. I like that. I like that gimmick. I think that is very, very cool. It's very different. So, nice. So far, I'm really digging it. He does have his G1 style handgun, his rifle. It looks like the old style rifle. It's just a little bit too small. I think if they could extend that piece out, it would have made it look a lot better. But overall, this is a great looking figure. Absolutely love it. Very cool. Let's take a look at his vehicle mode. Alright, so here we have Blaster in his truck mode, and, you know, it's looking pretty decent. You know, I like it. It's obviously based off the Soundwave truck mode. It's the same figure, essentially, that was in the War for Cybertron. It was a deluxe figure, so this is a larger version of it, and it looks pretty cool. Here's the front, looking very Blaster-like up front there, and it's got the kind of hook claw bumpers going on there. The only thing that I don't like is it's very barren underneath there. There's not a lot going on there, and you can actually fold it down to give it kind of a snub look, I guess, if you wanted to. But it's supposed to be at an angle, so this piece comes up. And one thing I do like, they even have detail underneath that piece, which is very cool. But yeah, it's supposed to be kind of up like that. And his wheels are very cool, very slick. I love the Autobot logo built into it. They also resemble the data discs quite a bit as well, which is very, very cool. We got these nice thruster-looking things, vent, exhaust, whatever on the back. The side looks pretty cool, lots of detail going on. His little gun mounts up here on top, and this is kind of cool. I like this. Soundwave also has this where it's got a little seat, very reminiscent of the old Micromen figures that came with the original Diaclone Transformers, like the Insecticons and Perceptor and the Dinobots, and all those guys had little chairs for little tiny people to ride and work with. So that's kind of cool. Nice little throwback there. Although I think it would have been cooler if they would have made this jump seat a little bit bigger so you could put like Rumble and Frenzy and Eject and Rewind up there. I think that would have been way cooler. So yeah, that would have been a lot nicer, but it is what it is. All in all, I do like the truck mode. It's much better as a larger scale vehicle than the deluxe figure, I think, was. But yeah, very, very cool stuff. So yeah, you know, even though it's a repaint and a remold of Soundwave, it works well because, well, Blaster is kind of the Autobot equivalent of Soundwave. So really digging this figure a lot. I love the paint scheme. I love all the nods to the old character, and it's just a very fun-looking figure. It's very bright, and I really do recommend picking this guy up. Even if you don't like the Soundwave version, I think this version would do you pretty well. So if you do have Soundwave, it's really cool to finally get a Blaster to go with on your shelf, so you have nice little counterparts and have little wars and stuff. So very cool figure. Definitely recommend him. Yeah, very awesome. So let's take a look at his Boombox Mode. All right, and here is Blaster in his Boombox Mode. So like Soundwave and the deluxe figure from the War of Cybertron, this has an unofficial Boombox Mode where it's kind of in half transformation, and you use the tires as speakers. You kind of wrap the legs up around, and the back end obviously looks terrible, or it's folded out and everything. But from the front, it does make a pretty decent looking little boombox, which is very cool. And the nice thing is, if you eject, you can see your data disk inside, which is very, very cool. Yeah, so all in all, very cool figure. Definitely recommend him. In Soundwave, you know, if you've got a Soundwave, this is definitely something that you want to go with. Can't wait for the cassettes to come out, or the other data discs for Blaster to come out. We'll definitely be picking those up to go along with this figure. So there he is, Blaster. Thanks for watching, guys, and look for more videos in the future.